Have you ever caught yourself thinking, life used to feel simpler, and somehow, I felt better back then, too? Maybe it was the slower mornings, the fewer obligations, or just the way your day had a natural rhythm. But somewhere along the way, things became more crowded, more noise, more clutter, more pressure to keep up, even in retirement. And here's the surprising part. That simpler feeling you remember? It might just be the key to living longer and feeling more alive while you do. After 70, your body doesn't need more stimulation, more hustle, or more stuff. What it truly needs is space, space to rest, space to breathe, space to heal. And that's where simplicity becomes powerful. In this video, we're going to explore 3 lifestyle shifts that can help you create more ease in your daily life, protect your health, and even add years, good years, to your journey ahead. You don't have to overhaul everything or live like a monk. This isn't about giving things up, it's about letting go of what no longer serves you so you can focus on what does. Small changes, made with intention, can lead to big improvements in how you feel, how you move, and how you enjoy the world around you. Let's begin with the first shift, one that many people overlook because it sounds too simple to matter: slowing down your mornings. Not skipping them. Not rushing through them. Just slowing them down a little. After 70, your body no longer rebounds from stress the way it used to. A hectic morning, jumping out of bed, grabbing a quick bite, rushing into chores or errands, sets off a chain reaction that your heart, your digestion, and even your immune system will feel all day long. Now, picture a different kind of morning. You wake up and take a moment to breathe before getting out of bed. You stretch your arms slowly, feel your feet on the floor, maybe open the curtains and let the light gently invite you into the day. Maybe you sip warm water or tea before reaching for your phone or the news. You're not in a race. You're in a rhythm. That's the shift. When you slow down your morning, your entire nervous system responds. Your blood pressure stabilizes. Your digestion improves. Your mind becomes clearer. That's not wishful thinking, it's science. And it doesn't require money or medication. Just awareness. Just the choice to do less, and do it more mindfully. Let's say you like to get your errands done early. That's great. Just give yourself 20 quiet minutes before launching into activity. Read something uplifting. Water your plants. Sit outside if you can. This small pocket of calm becomes your anchor. And that anchor can change your whole day, and eventually your whole life. Now, let's talk about the second shift, which builds on that idea of creating space. It's about simplifying your environment. Not just decluttering for the sake of tidiness, but clearing out things that create mental noise, distraction, and even physical risk. Think about how many things in your home you don't use, don't need, or maybe don't even like anymore. All those things take up space, not just on your shelves, but in your brain. You don't need to throw everything out. But start small. 1 drawer. 1 table. 1 shelf. Each thing you remove creates more visual peace. And that peace? It's good for your heart rate, your sleep, even your memory. A clear space can help you think more clearly and move more safely. And speaking of safety, that's another big part of this shift. As we get older, falls become one of the biggest threats to our health and independence. And often, It's something as simple as a stack of papers, a loose rug, or too much furniture in a tight space that leads to an accident. Simplifying your environment isn't just about aesthetics, it's a real, powerful way to protect your health. Here's a personal example I've heard from many viewers. One woman said she started clearing out one item per day. Just one. Sometimes it was a dusty vase. Sometimes an old coat. Sometimes a stack of mail that had been sitting there for months. And she said something surprising happened. She started to breathe easier. Her thoughts felt lighter. Her home started to feel like a sanctuary again, instead of a storage unit. That's the power of simplicity. It's not about minimalism for the sake of trendiness. It's about creating space for what matters: your safety, your peace of mind, your freedom to move easily, rest fully, and enjoy the moment you're in. And that leads us naturally to the third shift, which might be the most powerful of them all: simplifying your commitments. You've spent a lifetime showing up for others, your family, your work, your community. But now, it's time to be more selective about where your energy goes. Because energy, at this stage, is not unlimited. And it should be invested, not spent. Many of us were taught to say yes out of politeness or guilt. We stay in routines or relationships or responsibilities that no longer bring us joy, simply because we always have. But now is your time to choose differently. You don't need to fill every hour. You don't need to explain your no. You just need to listen to what feels right in your body, in your gut. Imagine having a week where your calendar has more blank space than boxes. More slow afternoons than busy mornings. More time for walks, hobbies, naps, or visits with people who make you feel truly good. That's not laziness. That's wisdom. That's longevity. When you simplify your commitments, you reclaim time, and time, after 70, is the most precious thing you have. It doesn't mean you stop giving. It just means you give from a full cup, not an empty one. Now that we've talked about slowing your mornings, clearing your space, and honoring your time, there's still one more piece of this puzzle that brings it all together in the most beautiful way. Because simplicity isn't just about removing things from your life, it's also about adding the right things, at the right pace, in a way that nurtures you. That brings us to the heart of the third shift: nourishing your day with intention. Now, when most people hear the word nourishment, they think of food, and yes, that's part of it. But I'm talking about nourishment on every level. What you feed your mind, your body, and your spirit. After 70, every moment of your day becomes either fuel or friction. The things you consume, whether it's a meal, a conversation, or even a piece of news, will either build you up or slowly wear you down. Let's start with the obvious: food. The simpler your diet, the easier it is for your body to absorb nutrients, maintain a healthy weight, and keep inflammation low. And no, this doesn't mean bland or boring. It means real food, ingredients you recognize, meals you can pronounce, and portions that leave you satisfied, not sluggish. I've spoken to folks in their 80s who swear by the same simple routine: oatmeal in the morning, a light lunch, and a warm soup or stew for dinner. No fancy supplements. No complicated cooking. Just gentle foods that are kind to the stomach and full of life. When your meals are predictable in a good way, balanced, fresh, not too heavy, your body finds its rhythm again. Digestion improves. Sleep deepens. Energy returns. But food is just the beginning. What about your mental diet? What are you taking in throughout the day? Are you scrolling endlessly through upsetting headlines? Are you watching TV that leaves you feeling drained or anxious? Are you spending time with people who complain constantly or stir up stress? Your mind, especially after 70, is more sensitive than ever to stimulation. And it's not about avoiding reality, it's about choosing your inputs wisely. Read something that inspires you. Watch something that makes you smile. Talk to people who lift you up, even if it's just a short call. That's mental nourishment. That's emotional simplicity. Now let's talk about movement. Not exercise in the boot camp sense, movement. Gentle, regular, joyful movement that fits your body as it is today. Maybe it's a walk after breakfast. Maybe it's 10 minutes of stretching before bed. Maybe it's dancing to your favorite old song in the living room. Whatever makes you feel alive without wearing you out. You don't need to follow a strict workout plan. In fact, the more complicated it feels, the less likely you'll want to stick with it. What your body craves is consistency. Low impact, low stress, high-value movement. Something that keeps your joints limber, your blood flowing, and your mood lifted. And again, it's all about rhythm. You don't need to do more, you just need to move better. One viewer told me she started doing 5 minutes of movement every time she finished a cup of tea. That was her rule. Tea, then a stretch. Tea, then a walk to the mailbox. Tea, then 10 steps around the house. Simple. And after a month, she noticed her legs didn't ache as much. Her balance improved. She felt steadier, physically and emotionally. That's the power of tiny rhythms. That's simplicity in motion. Another often overlooked piece of nourishment? Stillness. Silence. Time with no input. No screen, no phone, no chatter. Just sitting, breathing, looking out the window, or listening to the wind. These moments aren't empty, they're deeply restorative. In a world that's always buzzing, quiet becomes a kind of medicine. And it's free. You might be surprised how much better you sleep, how much less anxious you feel, when you allow just 10 minutes a day to sit with yourself, without a task or distraction. That's a gift your future self will thank you for. Now, I know for some people, slowing down, doing less, or saying no feels strange at first. We're so used to proving our value by being busy, by being useful to everyone else. But the truth is, your worth has never been measured by how much you do. It's measured by how fully you live. And simple living gives you space to actually experience that. Simplicity isn't about having less, it's about having room for what matters. A clear kitchen counter where you can actually enjoy your tea. A few good books on the table instead of a dozen unread ones. A weekly phone call with a grandchild instead of a schedule packed with social obligations you don't even enjoy anymore. You might be surprised how much more joyful life becomes when you remove the noise. You might hear birds again. You might notice how good your food tastes. You might feel energy return that you thought was gone for good. This isn't magic. It's simply what happens when we stop overloading a system that was never designed to hold so much. There's one more layer I want to share, something that ties these shifts together into something really beautiful. Because once you start simplifying your morning, your space, your movement, and your inputs, you begin to feel a deep sense of control. Not control in the rigid, stressful sense, but control as in ownership. You remember that your time is yours. Your energy is yours. Your joy is yours. And in a world that sometimes seems to want to rush us, distract us, and sell us more of everything, that quiet sense of ownership becomes the most powerful kind of freedom. So take a moment and ask yourself, what is one thing you could simplify this week? One drawer, one conversation, one habit, one bite at a time. That's all it takes to start. The journey toward a longer, lighter life isn't paved with effort, it's paved with ease. Let's keep going, because there's still one final truth about simplicity and longevity that brings everything together in a truly empowering way. And that truth is this: a simple life is a focused life. After 70, focus becomes your superpower. When your attention isn't being pulled in a dozen directions, you start noticing the details that make life worth living. The smell of the morning air, the warmth of a good conversation, the peace that comes from knowing your day isn't packed with obligations, but instead gently filled with what brings you calm and clarity. It's in this final shift, this conscious focus, that simplicity becomes longevity. Because now, you're not just managing your time, you're honoring it. One of the greatest lessons I've heard from people well into their 80s and 90s is this: don't waste time worrying about things you can't control. Let that sink in for a moment. Because it's easy to fall into patterns of rumination, overthinking, even regret, especially when we've lived long enough to look back at many chapters. But here's something powerful: you can simplify your mind just as you simplify your home or your diet. And one of the most effective ways to do that is to release what's no longer yours to carry. Whether it's an old grudge, a mistake, or what if that keeps playing in your head, let it go. You've already paid the price for it in the past. There's no reason to keep paying for it in the present. Focusing on what's right in front of you, not what was behind you or what might be ahead, brings your nervous system into a place of peace. And peace, real peace, does something extraordinary for the body. It lowers stress hormones. It eases digestion. It helps regulate sleep. It improves heart health. Not just emotionally, but biologically. You can literally add years to your life by practicing this kind of mental and emotional simplicity. One woman I met at a community center said something that stuck with me. She said, "I stopped watching the evening news 5 years ago. Instead, I listened to birds outside my window. I don't know if I'm missing out on anything important, but I do know I'm sleeping better." That's wisdom. That's focus. That's longevity. And simplicity isn't just about what you remove, it's also about what you choose to keep. Keep the people who make you feel seen. Keep the hobbies that light you up, no matter how small they seem. Keep the walks, the quiet mornings, the books that make you think, the songs that make you smile. These aren't extras. These are your life now. These are the threads that hold it all together. If you've ever felt like the world has gotten too noisy, too fast, too complicated, you're not imagining it. But the good news is, you don't have to keep up with it. You can choose to step back, to opt out of the race, to design a life that fits you, just as you are, right now. And let's be honest, at this stage of life, comfort matters. Not just physical comfort, but emotional ease. Your time is precious. Your energy is sacred. Every day you wake up is a gift. Don't spend it chasing things that don't feed your soul. Instead, try this. When you wake up tomorrow, before you even get out of bed, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that brings me peace? Maybe it's watering your plants. Maybe it's sitting outside for 10 minutes. Maybe it's calling someone you love. Do that one thing. That's your focus. That's your power. And by the way, don't underestimate the influence you have on others by choosing simplicity. When your children or grandchildren see you slowing down intentionally, living peacefully, and taking care of yourself without apology, they learn that aging isn't something to fear. It becomes something to aspire to. That's a gift you give without even realizing it. I want you to remember something. There is no such thing as too late. You're not too old to make a change. You're not too stuck to start fresh. Every day is a chance to step closer to the life you truly want, one that feels light, joyful, and deeply yours. And these shifts don't have to happen all at once. Start where it feels easiest. Maybe it's clearing out a drawer. Maybe it's switching to simpler meals. Maybe it's spending 10 fewer minutes online and 10 more in silence. Every little choice adds up. Because when your life becomes simpler, it becomes clearer. And when things are clear, you don't just live longer, you live better. If this message speaks to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's one small shift you've made or want to make that's brought more peace into your life? Let's learn from each other. Share your story below. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like. It really helps others find this kind of calming, supportive content. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos just like this, made especially for you. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel free. And yes, you deserve a life that's simple, peaceful, and full of quiet joy. Here's to living longer and lighter.